Let's go, let's go, let's go. You are officially in the Michigan Man Cave. Welcome to the Man Cave, your place for any and all things Michigan football. And we got our way through another victory, although it wasn't exactly what I think any of us expected. To quote the great Mr. Clark from Lean On Me, that was a slovenly, sloppy game.
You smoke crack, don't you?
As he called Sam slovenly sloppy. So that's the best way I could describe that performance that we had. Nonetheless, y'all know I've been preaching it every week here since the beginning of this season goes. Get through the game, win the game, get out healthy. At the end of the day, that's what we're trying to do. So I think there is some things that we do need to discuss, some points I want to bring up that, I just keep it real. Some things that some Michigan fans may not like to hear. So I'm gonna bring that to the table today, and y'all tell me, if y'all agree, don't agree, whatever it is. But I do want to talk about the Bowling Green game. Then we'll get into previewing Rutgers. So when it comes to this game last week, B, talk to me, man. We got the dub, but how'd you feel? Let me ask you this before you even give. And again, we'll break down everything in full, but. So just give an overview, but immediately after that game, what was your emotions going through you? What were you feeling after the game, after that performance?
Survive.
Survive. All right.
That's all you do.
I'm just getting a temperature check from everybody after the game. Keen, what were you feeling in immediate moments after the game?
I'm glad I was drunk when I watched this game. Glad I had a couple, you know what I'm saying? Because I was unsatisfactory about it.
There you go. Okay. Go ahead, Beat. I'll let you give a brief overview though of the game. I just wanted to get a quick temperature check, and then I'll get into how I felt.
I just think on a lot of levels, man, I'm gonna put it to we're hesitant. This is a big week. Everybody knows that Harbaugh's coming back. And I just look at it as like we're not playing on all cylinders. Like you should be playing at full speed, natural, everything should be coming to you organically, and it just don't look like that's happening. But I do believe that's got a lot to do with, like I said last week. Everybody's kind of on pins and needles because you don't want to be that coach to like, oh, JJ got hurt the game you was like interim head coaching. You know what I'm saying? Should he have been in? Like you don't want stuff like that to be the topic of discussion going forward in the rest of the season. So I feel like everybody's just like on edge, and I think the things that we're not seeing, we're gonna see going forward now that Harbaugh's back because he can actually pull the trigger on things. It just seems like we're hesitant and we're not playing like loose, organic, natural football. So
yeah,
that to me seems like it's the case most of the time.
I definitely agree with that. King, what you got?
Yeah, I mean, just like Bowie said, I feel some of that has to do with it, and at times you forget that Harbaugh's not on the sideline unless the announcer brings it up, or unless you know what I'm saying, you actually look on the sideline, they got the camera on the coach or whatever. So I've been actually forgetting that Harbaugh's not been there. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't feel like it's like reverting back to us not winning big stuff or whatever, but I just feel like it'll be different. But I don't know, like I don't know, the picks were like uncharacteristic. That's really what threw the game off because it's like his first one was like, oh man, he threw his first pick. It's like, all right, moving on, let's beat their ass real quick, get up out of here. And it kept happening, and we looked out of sync in places. And like to Bowie's point, you know what I'm saying, the head coach brings a lot of sync to the game. You know what I'm saying, pulling the trigger on certain calls, on certain plays, players, etc. So yeah, I'm not gonna overreact to that. You know what I'm saying? We still won or whatever, but just unsatisfactory. And it was really that game. The other two games were fine. I don't know what it was, but just a bump in the road, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Something to learn from and move on and get better.
Yeah. So the question I want to bring to the table, which obviously the quarterback's the most important position. And trust me, I'm not abandoning ship on JJ by any means because I think he's good. I think he's good enough to take us to, the championship. I really do. But my question is, so we've fully never really seen, I would say, up until this point of JJ's career. I guess if you want to count these first two games of this week, I know we talked about the TCU game last year, Ohio State game last year, but if we get to the point where, you know, and we were crowning him the first 2 weeks because he was flawless essentially, right? We talked about that. We all agreed to that. But again, you know, we're playing subpar opponents, and I think a part of that is at some point you kind of just, as much as you try to get up for each game, it's hard to, right? When you keep playing Bowling Green, East Carolina, whatever. So my question is, we've seen JJ in the bowl game at TCU when we fully just opened it up, right? Yeah, he made a lot of great plays. We had 2 crucial picks. And, you know, even last game, it seemed like they were opening it up a little bit. He threw a couple picks. So my question is, are you at all hesitant that if we do just, because, you know, we've been asking that for the longest. All right, we got a run game, we got a run game, we got a run game. The run game ain't been all the way clicking like that. And we'll talk about that in a minute. It looked a little better this week. But if we fully open that thing up, are you 100% confident? Because JJ, I'm starting to think if you open it all the way up, I'm starting to move more towards he's a gunslinger type vibes, Josh Allen-ish, which
Goodness.
Josh Allen, I'm Josh Allen, the top quarterback in the league. I'm not throwing shade.
His decision making is terrible to me, though.
Right. He's a top 5 quarterback, regardless. Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think pretty much any team in the league would probably take Josh Allen outside of probably the Chiefs and whoever other quarterback you want to say. It's not.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, his decision making is just terrible.
Right, it is. But again, that's part of what makes him great too, though.
It's like a Brett Favre situation. You know what I'm saying?
It's part of what makes him great. So, my question to y'all is, Keen, I'll start with you. Are you 100% confident if we open that thing up in a game where the run game, a real game, not none of these games, I'm talking about moving forward, a big game, a crucial game that we know we can't just be safe and win it like that. Are you comfortable with opening it up that he's not going to turn the rock over? Because let's just call it what it is. Again, I'm prefacing all this by saying I'm on board with JJ, and I think he can take us there. But I do want to visit this conversation. Let's go back to Michigan State a couple years ago. That fumble he had, that was essentially, I ain't gonna say cost us the game, but crucial.
Valid point.
Crucial. The TCU game, couple picks.
Valid point.
Crucial. And then it's, what other one am I missing in there? It's another one in there that I just had it. Whatever, it doesn't matter to the point I'm making. Are you 100% confident that if we just give him the reins and say, hey, go off, take over, he's not going to put the ball in harm's way?
If you would asked me this a week ago, I'd have said, yeah. But, I mean, even with the facts you just brought up about the TCU game, the fumble in the state game, it just brings up a lot of bad memories. But, I mean, I can't say I'm 100% sure, no. Especially just coming off this game with 3 picks versus a team we were supposed to beat by, I think it was like 40 points, I believe, and it was at 38 at one point or whatever. But no, not 100%. No, I'll put it at about 70 because we haven't won a big game, to be honest. Let me rephrase that. Ohio State is a big game, but more so like TCU game, that would have been like a big game. You know what I mean? Like, we beating Ohio State, now the monkeys off our back. So that's our rival, that's our game. But I wanna get a chip. You know what I'm saying? Beating Ohio State don't win us no chip unless we playing them in the championship. But, so I'm not 100%.
He's at 70%. B, where you at?
Dang, it's hard to put a percentage on it because I don't want to be too high, too low. You know what I'm saying, and be a prisoner of the moment.
Exactly. Me neither. That's why. Yeah.
Yeah, but what both of you are mentioning is big games. Can we trust them in a big game? And the reason why Bowling Green is a big game to me is it's to be 3-0. You got the touchdown record in your head. You got all these outside factors.
Head coach.
head coach. I mean, like you're playing flawlessly, so the media is heaping praise. Taylor Swift shouting you out on Instagram, even though she just hooked up with Kelsey. So you got all these things playing into it, and it's the need to perform. So, like, I would give it, man, I mean, just going off of his resume from the TCU loss, I'm gonna give him like right now. I'm at 40%, like 50%. It could go either way. I mean, I don't fully trust him. I don't not trust him, but at the same time, I mean, when the big game comes around, I need to see you perform because I haven't yet. I don't believe.
Ohio State last year. And I get it. I mean, his numbers were a bit inflated with a couple bombs here and
Right.
there.
Yeah. I mean, that's receivers making plays. I mean, Edwards was balling out of his mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, the TCU game seemed more to me like he was trying to win it. So
Yeah,
I'm
you're
going
right.
off of that game to where
that was a you take over the game type of game. That's
right.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm going off of because that's the last time I feel like we were like, all right, go win us the game, JJ. And I mean, he didn't come through. So that's why I give it 50-50. He's if you want to say the Ohio State game, he's 1-for-2, one for two. So it's 50-50 to me in my mind. These weren't big games. I mean, he's spreading the ball around very well. I mean, each receiver had. I mean, our top receivers have at least 9 catches. You know what I'm saying? That's your man that you mentioned in your outstanding player of the year in Loveland Keenan, and I mean, it's weird that Roman Wilson leads the team in touchdowns, but ain't the leading receiver. You know what I'm saying? But things like that, I'd like to see him. You know what I'm saying? Like week 1, we mentioned, I'd like to see him go over that hump. And I'm not going to put it in these 3 games that he has yet.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm just bringing it up. I mean, I would say I'm probably at 80% confident, but it's a difference between 80 and 100, right? If you're going to be that guy, you like to be at 100% confident in somebody like, a USC quarterback. They 100% confident in him. Like, we know he ain't about to lose us the game. You know what I mean? So,
I mean, Deion Sanders' son going 98. You know what I'm saying?
Shedeur, hey, Shedeur looking crazy nice out there. So that's what I'm saying. Are we trusting him to those levels yet? And I'm only putting him on such a high pedestal because that's the expectation of him.
Yeah, exactly. That's the expectation.
So, if you're gonna get those type of expectations when you backslide a little bit, we're gonna call that out. We were calling you elite, in which you were to this game. When you're not elite, we got to call that out. So we could talk about this all night, but I do want to move on to something different. And when it comes to the run game, and actually, if y'all don't mind, I'm gonna play a little sound bite here from Corum because I heard him and we talked about it the last few weeks. Remember how we've been saying Corum? We don't exactly know how well he's still feeling. And he even said it himself. I don't know why I'm not exactly at 100, but I'm getting there. And trust me, I'll get there. Which we all agree. We were happy to hear that we weren't just seeing things; he was feeling it too. So he did talk. Let me see if I can find where I did with that. I'm gonna have to pull it up. But while we do that, Keen, I'll let you start. When it comes to Corum, he had that first run where he broke loose. He cut on that safety. It looked a little old Blakeish. I'll give him credit when credit's due, but I still wasn't. I don't know. His straight line speed, like we said, he never was a burner, but he still doesn't look like he has that speed on the top end as he did. What was your take on that, especially the first run specifically?
Yeah, no, I see. Yeah, I saw the same thing. I thought he was actually gonna break it, at least like stiff arm somebody, you know what I'm saying, maybe and get and break loose. But I don't know, maybe I don't know. I think you just want that old thing back, you know what I mean? Like because I want to see him, you know what I'm saying, back to the way he was. I felt like his straight line speed wasn't the fastest, but he would lead, like he would at least score long touchdowns. And all the long runs he had, he's like getting caught or you know what I'm saying, not taking it to the house. But I just think we're feeling nostalgic about where he was and who he is now because this might be him. You know what I'm saying, moving forward. Um, I hope for Edwards gets going. You know what I'm saying. On top of that, but I just think this is what it is now, bro. Because he just ain't the same as it was, man. He don't got the same speed. Like we knew he was quick, but he had speed, bro. He would lead people. You know what I'm saying. He would score long touchdowns, but now he ain't even getting past him. He ain't even breaking past nobody. So it ain't just you. I mean, you know, I feel the same way. I feel nostalgic. I want that old thing back.
Yeah. B, what you got?
I agree. We're all thinking about last year when he was on a Heisman clip. Let's just put it that way. This year, you know what I'm saying? Him coming off the knee injury, we want him to be that, but I think he's doing fine. 27 or 37 rushes, 254 yards, averaging 6.9. Stay in that 2.5, 3 yard to carry range, and I can live with it. I mean, you're at 6.9 right now. As long as 54, where again last year that probably would have been to the crib. This year he gets caught, but in the Big Ten, we really don't need those explosive plays. We need those explosive plays later on when we get to the you know what I'm saying, the playoffs. So just stay in that 2.5, 3. I mean, that's moving the chain. So I mean, we'll get it together. I just think it'll take a little bit more time. Situationally, I was about to say a crazy ass word. Situationally, I don't think they're putting Edwards again, and I think this goes into coach not being on the sideline and people not wanting to show too much. You know what I'm saying? Because like they probably running Harbaugh's playbook. It ain't like they running their own playbook, so they don't want to show too much because when he get back, he gonna want his shine. But Edwards has 27 carries, 96 yards. I just think we're putting him in situations to where they know he's getting the rock when he comes out there. So I think again, when coach gets back, that's going to change to where we can kind of disguise it more to where we use Corum as the third down back and let him see what he could do. Use Edwards in those first two downs because right now it don't seem like we're doing that a lot. We just like Corum, and then Edwards. So again, we'll switch it up. But I just think everybody's on pins and needles, not using everything until coach get back.
And one thing that
quick train for reference, last year for him, 247 carries, 1,400 yards, 18 touchdowns. So he was. I mean, that's what we're looking. You know what I'm saying? That's a
Heisman clip, though. You know what I'm saying? That's
he got hurt. What game? I forgot what game did he get hurt. It was
like the second to last game, I think.
Yeah,
the third to last game.
So I mean, that like that's glaring in my mind when I see Corum. Like, yeah, we got Corum back. It's about to be on, but we got to remember, like, the knee injuries ain't nothing to play with either.
Yeah. One thing I was thinking though, which was weird, man. I was just like, why? So to me, again, you know how like a hooper, like they say they missing threes and all, they can't get their shot going. You know, they'll be like, oh, get to the line, hit a couple free throws, or get a layup. That'll get them going. I feel like when we got those first and goal from the 2, from the 1, let's let Donovan get one of them, man. Like let's get him in the end zone, get him feeling good, let his teammates hype him up. I don't know if it translates the same as the other analogy I just gave, but it won't hurt to get him in the end zone feeling good about himself. So
he running hard, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It seems like they want to just keep, drumming up all the Corum stats. Like, man, anybody could have. That's a straight coaching decision. And I'm not mad at Blake getting him. Obviously, he's a better short yardage back. But it's like any of us could have ran them 1-yard plunges in there, right? So it's like, why not let him get a little bit of shine? I mean, Blake get 3 1-yard runs. Let Donovan get one of them, dog. So I don't understand that point. To me, that seems like an easy fix to maybe just get his confidence back up, which I don't think is lacking. But, with that included with the play calling for him, he's a different kind of back than Corum too. I don't understand, man. It's simple ways to get him in space, and they don't even try it. Like, again, this was my problem last year. How many games last year did I say run a screen pass. That's like a trick play in our playbook. Like we don't run screen passes. That was the entire Brady offense with the Patriots, his entire regime. They had a screen game offense. It works. Like throw a quick pass here, regular traditional screen pass, whatever it is. Get the man the rock in space and let him cook up. I don't get it, man. It's frustrating.
Three receivers to one side, screen to the other side. I mean, they have to respect that. So it's not like you can't have a bunch of linebackers in the game. You're gonna have DBs, less linemen, less linebackers. Who you think catching Edwards? Again, situationally, I don't think they're putting him in a position to be successful right now. And I think that has a lot to do with, you know what I'm saying, the head coach not being there and him not getting opportunity.
And Blake's vision, I feel like, is a little better than his too. You know, we doing that zone blocking or whatever blocking we doing is like he's getting the rock, and then he's like he can pick and choose those little holes to cut in and out of. Like Donovan is just more like
he's trying to get going, like so he get that top.
That's because his game is speed. I need to get it and get going.
Oh,
I don't need to be thinking about all this. Yeah.
You said screen passes, swing passes,
quick toss, all that.
Let him get them wheels going.
Let me I found this let me know if y'all could hear this. Where we at?
But just like the first two games, JJ was spreading the ball around, you know what I'm saying? Like Bowie said, in this game, he had 8 completions and it was 3 targets. It was Wilson, Johnson, and close Loveland.
Loveland. How many yards did Loveland have, Keen? I know you was about to put that bet in. I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't make it. I'm gonna tell you that.
He 30, bro.
No, he went over. Keen was about to pick left.
He was at like
okay.
Yeah. All right. Let me know. Can y'all hear this? Oh, nope. Hold on real quick. My bad. What's going on?
Come on.
Form had 12 carries, 101 yards, 2 touchdowns. Edward had 9 carries for 50 yards.
Yeah. You know, I definitely needed that. Just from, like I said, a mental aspect. You know what I'm saying? The previous week, sometimes I just felt like, you know, I wasn't where I needed to be in terms of cutting and just getting that my knee was okay out of my head. And like I said, I worked really hard last week in practice to just get that out of my head. And that first run, when I made the cut on the safety, I'm like, okay, we're almost there. You know what I'm saying? We have a couple more things we have to do to get where I want to be and be as electric as, you know, I was last year. But that one right there, you know, it gave me a sense of confidence and like, all right, this is out your head. You know what I'm saying? Your knee's fine. You know, just do what you do. And, yeah, it felt great.
I like to hear that. I like to hear that.
Hey, again, one thing I do appreciate about Corum is he keeping it funky. Like I get that I wasn't this and that. So, you know, the fact that he acknowledges it, he's not acting like, oh yeah, I'm back 100. I'm just as far as I was. You know, I respect that.
That's what they want us to hear, but or expect us to want to hear. But we want that real deal. Like if you ain't 100, keep it a buck with it. I mean,
I feel him. One of my favorite shows is Winning Time. And earlier this season, they had Magic Johnson when he tore up his knee coming back. You know what I'm saying? And the mental stuff he had to go through to get back to where he was. You know what I'm saying? Like it takes work. You know what I'm saying? It takes repetition. It takes all the stuff that he's doing. The thing I like about Corum is I know he's gonna do what it takes to get back to being 100%. Yeah. I have no doubt that he's working his butt off. So that's why I can respect about him. And the fact that he keeping it funky just makes me love him even more.
Yeah. All right, let's keep it moving. I do want to talk about the line, man, because I don't know if y'all peeped last week, starting left tackle. Right. Starting left tackle was Barnhart. Starting right tackle was Hinton. And, you know, the 3 interior guys have pretty much stayed the same. But left tackle, Barnhart, like I said, right tackle Hinton was getting a little leaky on the right side of pass pro, right? So what happened in the second half was it seemed like they switched. They put Barnhart on the right, took Hinton out and brought Ladarius Henderson in, and that seemed to work a little better. So they're saying now, like, I don't know, man. I'm to the point now where I feel like we need to, whoever it is, we got to roll with them, man. There's no more at this point. The Big Ten season is starting. No more swapping out tackles between series, this, that, flopping. Like, let's go with what we think is our best options, and let them boys start, molding together and get a rhythm, man. I don't know, bro. I'm kind of done with the everybody playing, unless it's a blowout. But let the starters be the starters.
Right.
Dean, I don't know if you feel that way or peep that out, kind of what's going on in the line, but
I mean, that's a great point that you made. I mean, with us going into our conference schedule, definitely want to be solidified in who's going to be the unit, because the offensive line has to be working as one. And if you got a new guy in every time, or if you're subbing in somebody at a different spot, it's going to mess with the chemistry of the line. So, especially heading into this Rutgers game, I'm telling you, man, I don't feel too. I mean, I'm 100% sure we're gonna win, but the game is definitely on my mind. I know it's the Rutgers, but look, we'll talk about it. I got some things to say, but no, the offensive line, they need to be one unit, so they need to be working together as much as they can. So starters should be starters, like you said.
yeah. And unless you got something to add, I want to get to defense though.
Sharon, get your stuff together. It's kind of like it's an embarrassment of riches. On paper, we claim to have all this talent, so the shuffle game's over. We going into the big boy game now, so you got to solidify it. Because I said it week one, you ain't gonna be able to sit up there and just interchange offensive linemen. They got to have a chemistry, like King said just now. So that's it.
Yeah,
same thing.
Yeah. All right, so let's get to defense. I do want to, because our defense, man, I feel like a couple years ago we were having a conversation of like defense is holding us down, and they are. I think I heard a stat though, just to put in perspective where our offense is ranked, mid 60s. I don't want to say the exact number, in the 60s for both passing and running. So that's not going to get it done long term.
Middle of the pack right there.
That's middle of the pack. That's not going to get it done. So
not a national championship does that bring.
No, negative. So my point, I guess, is the defense has been, significantly better than the offense. I don't have the stats of where we're ranked nationally, but I thought I heard we were 1 in points, if I'm not mistaken.
Point, yeah.
Yeah, one in total points allowed, which obviously you can't get no better than that. I think it's a total of 15 on the season, 15 points in 3 games.
15 points total, 5.3 a game. That's a safety and a field goal. If you get
Come on. So we definitely gotta show them love. How many sacks did we get? You got the sack total there? I know it was at least 3, 4.
I don't got it, but yeah, I got Sanders still had a big sack.
Good had a sack. Harrell.
This is you don't think getting stats that you wouldn't think from that position. Sanders still got a sack as a DB. You know what I'm saying? Jenkins got an interception, big boy play. You know what I mean? So our defense is stout.
Defense is looking good. Quentin Johnson got a pick. He's like an older guy who's seeing some time finally. But my bigger question is, go ahead, King.
Just real quick, I had it written down during the game. Is Harrell a playmaker? He might be a playmaker.
He's looking good. He's definitely looking like our best edge rusher, 100%.
He leads the team in sacks at 2.5.
He's looking like a playmaker.
Also has a forced fumble.
Yeah, so I like him. But the thing I do want to talk about though is I'm starting to get a little bit, and I don't. This just could be me being a anti Michigan fan. I'm starting to get a little bit worried about these injuries because I'm like, I'm going to go with the same energy for defense as it is for offense. If these dudes is ready to play, it's time to get the starting unit all out there and locked in because Will Johnson, he's just in and out. it barely plays. Yep, Rob Moore.
He was in street clothes.
Are you that hurt, bro? What? So, I mean, I get it. We don't need him for those games. So, I mean, what the hell? We just gonna bring him back for Ohio State, Penn State? Like, you know what I'm saying? You gotta come on, man. So, is he hurt for real? Even though I do like 3 Sab, he looks pretty good. Yep. And then even Page, I know he's been playing more now though, but Page was in and out the lineup. Seemed like the only consistent secondary guy we've had really. I mean, Sanders still, I kind of use him as a all over the field type of guy, but is Wallace. So I don't know. You think these injuries, King, Moore and Will Johnson, are they worse than what we anticipated? Or are they just literally waiting until we need them?
You know, Harbaugh and his camp, you know, they keep everything on the hush hush, so they ain't gonna leak too much information.
You working through something. That's all you say.
Working through something, you know, he was working through something in camp. He was working through something in spring ball. You know what I'm saying? I think it's we're waiting to bring him back. Maybe, because just leading up with this Harbaugh suspension and him coming back the third game is like, all right, everybody will bring him back the third game, maybe just to give him more time. And that's what I want to hope and pray that it is. But like you to the point of the defense and the stats they're putting up or not letting teams put up, it is giving way for people to make plays. You know what I'm saying? Other people to step up. So if it does come to it, it is worse than that. I feel good. You know what I'm saying? But if not, I would like those guys to be on the field and get this championship run, you know what I'm saying, in the books.
Yeah. And B, Will Johnson, I mean, he's talking about a straight up 5-star, is to be arguably the best corner in the nation. Bruh, we a quarter of the way through the season, a third of the way after this week, really, the regular season, and we ain't seen you, bruh.
And he ain't got no games under his belt.
So, and to him to be this playmaker, I'm not saying he's not. I think he is, but huge piece missing off the defense. You think about somebody like that, if they're saying he's the best corner we've had since Woodson, hey, man.
Hey, bro, like, it's this era, man. Like, Woodson wouldn't allowed himself to be sitting on the sideline like this. You know what I'm saying? It would have been more of, hey, man, I want to play. Let me play again. After this week,
played, though. That's the part that's crazy. He's got in spot duty. Like, are you healthy or not?
Yeah, and I don't understand, because I think in spot duty, you got more opportunity to get hurt than if you're just out there playing. You know what I'm saying? Because like you kind of like half in, half out. You know what I'm saying? You're not going full speed. So I think it's a detriment. And again, it's a new era. I'm gonna blame it on that. This rest and get yourself healthy. But like, come towards the end of the season, ain't nobody really gonna be healthy. You're gonna be playing. You got to be used to playing at 80%. You know what I'm saying? And being able to turn that thing on. But again, I'm gonna preface everything by saying the head coach is not there. These coaches, as much as we want to say, oh yeah, they're coaching the team, they got their marching orders. You know what I'm saying? As most of us do have. So, after this week, I don't see any reason why he's not playing full time going into the Big Ten schedule. I mean, what are you saving him for? Like, he's not going to be able to ramp himself up for Georgia with no experience. Last year he's a freshman. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's all about getting the plays in at this point. So, I mean, I'm not mad that he wasn't in there. I'm not totally happy. Again, I'm 50% on all this stuff that they're doing. Just saying that Jim Harbaugh isn't coaching right now. But after this week, I'm gonna need to see the team. What's the 144th Michigan team? It don't seem like we have seen it yet.
Yeah, and that's my point. I want to see this whole team, the offense all the way set, defense, all the guys in there.
Right.
Good defense is, think about it. If all those guys are back, Will Johnson's, the Rob Moores, like, them was good players for us last year. Like, we could be even more elite than what we are, you know? So I'm just, again, I want to see it. And if they are that hurt, obviously don't risk it. But if we're just literally playing, oh, well, it's Bowling Green, we don't need him. It's like, nah, hell no. If he's good to go, get his ass out.
It's reps. I don't understand that mindset of it's just Bowling Green. Hey, he need reps, in-game reps.
He needs reps, facts. So, and then the only spot I'm really okay with just rotating like that all the time is D line. Like I'm okay with that. Outside of that, man, it's like we see one player in and one the next series, another. It's like people all over the damn place, man. Like, and I get it. You got some guys out there that
Bruh.
want to keep people happy. Transfer portal, I get it, all that, man. But it's to the point now where it's like we need to start prepping to win.
14 DBs have played. That's that. Like that's a whole 11. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just too many.
That's a lot, man. That's a lot, bro. So, anyways, I guess we'll see what that turns into. But I definitely I want to get these dudes back. I want to get these guys back. Hopefully, again, if they're not out there versus Rutgers, we'll know. I'll really start to believe it's something more.
Right. It would have to, for me, it would have to lean into trying to find the balance of trying to keep players in your program, because that transfer portal, I'm sure, is looming over every coach's head. Like if you don't play a kid, they'll just be out, which the kids aren't understanding. The transfer portal ain't just a boom, you gone. A lot of kids sit in that thing and don't go nowhere. So, I mean, once kids start understanding what the transfer portal really is, I think coaches won't have to worry as much about, you know what I'm saying, having to get these kids as much playing time as they're getting.
Whatever that percentage of kids that don't get picked up out of the transfer portal.
That's not talked about.
Yeah. King, you like something on your mind, dog?
No, I was saying I just read an article about how like I think it's like 48% of the students they'll still be in the transfer portal without a scholarship. Maybe that's why they had that. You sit a year out. If you really want this kid, you'll wait a year for him type. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying they were right to have it in there. I'm not saying they were wrong, but maybe that's what kept so legit.
Hey, King, then you sit out, but then there's new cats coming in from high school. So it was all good just a week ago. You sit in that thing.
It made you work harder though, because now you can see what's coming in. You in the transfer portal, you waiting now, you chilling.
Exactly. I say stay where you at. I say stay where you at and just work at it.
Yeah.
Or they need to start like having like the aftermath, like documentary on the dude, like man.
It's coming to Netflix soon. I guarantee it. They gonna have a transfer portal documentary, guaranteed on Netflix.
Right. I did want to move to one more thing. Thaw on punt return. I mean, Morris is breaking way more stuff than Thaw is on punt return. Get my man's Tyler Morris back there on punt return. I'm liking he does remind me of Ronnie Bell a little bit with the way he moves. He got the number.
And I mean, JJ hit him, but they were kind of long. Like the one thing I was saw one-handed, which that'd have been a great catch. I think it was
guaranteed touchdown. That would have been if he just had to loft that. He wide open.
Yeah, he put it on the line instead of letting him go run under it. But yeah, no, he looks legit. I see why he's the third receiver out there.
And back to the defense real quick before we move on to Rutgers. Wallace, I did see you get hit with that double move and bite. And it was simply my man couldn't hold on to the rock. But you was like, oh, I got me one, coach. So again, little stuff like that, man. It don't matter now, but you think down the road, Cass is watching film, dog.
Hey, they better get that corrected in the DB room. They better get that corrected.
Got your eyes in the backfield, son.
Can I give a shout out to the linebacker trio of Junior Colston, Michael Barrett, and Ernest Heisman? Hey, man, they out there balling, dog. They leading the team in tackles. They doing their thing. They're sideline cats, but they also ain't afraid to stick their nose up in there. That's how I like our linebackers playing. You know what I'm saying? They train. Hey, when you was back there, that was what you was like, dog. That's how I like a linebacker playing. You know what I'm saying? You can rely on them, dog. And I think that speed against, you know what I'm saying, those teams down the line gonna pay off, man, being able to get to the rock.
Yeah. I watch the linebackers a lot, and it's a reason I don't really bring them up as much because that's probably the least of my concerns on this defense right
Hey,
now.
they holding it down.
Yeah, they're everywhere, man. And I love the fact that we got depth there.
Right.
That if either one of them needs a break, because they said that Hausman can play either. He can
Right.
go inside.
They're versatile. They're versatile.
Yep. So
Just
anyway,
the team leading tacklers. That's just why I wanted to shout the boys up.
for sure. I do want to get to Rutgers this week. Rutgers is 3-0. Keen, you got any info on us? Rutgers numbers, stats.
Well, let me take you a trip down memory lane. How about that? So last year they outgained us by 77 yards, and y'all know that was a sphincter closer upper that game. You know that was. We were down by 7 in the final minutes, and that first home game or that first like Big Ten game is always our kind of like one of our toughest games. I know we beat them like by like 71 them games.
Rutgers last year, what was the score of that game? I thought wasn't that no, that was more years ago when Cade took over. I'm thinking of the game Cade took over and he came in for whack ass Joe Milton and brought us back to victory. That was at Rutgers.
Yeah. No, I remember we spanked them by like 60 one time, and
that was with Peppers and them was there. We won by like
I know that range is like supreme in our head, but Greg Schiano, he's an NFL coach. You know what I'm saying? He's getting good players. There was a poll on I forgot what site it was on, but it said 62% of the people, Michigan fans, say how dangerous is a Rutgers game, and they most definitely have this game has their attention. So I mean, it ain't just me. You know what I mean? It's some fans out there believe like this is like a trap game, one of those games. I feel like more so now this game than the Nebraska game. Like I said in the first episode, Nebraska kind of falling off. They need some time. Maybe I don't know. My predictions was off, but this Rutgers game
last year we beat them 52-17.
Maybe it was in the past. They always play us well.
I think you're talking about that game. That's the one I was talking about with I didn't remember that game last year being close, but that was with Cade.
Yeah.
Cade made his then he gave that weak ass speech after the game, like, we're gonna win this, we're gonna win all this shit.
Cade is a joke.
I feel like we're gonna win, but I just, you know what I'm saying, playing like we did last week. But Harbaugh's gonna be back. I think we have a new, like, energized team, especially with Harbaugh coming back.
I feel that.
I think I thinking about that. You know what I'm saying? It gives me some hope. You know what I'm saying?
They're 3-0. 3-0 though, right? They 3-0.
Yeah. I mean, they everybody gets up to play Michigan, so I don't think it's just gonna be a cakewalker.
They got the same quarterback from last year. I think it's Wimsett. Whatever his name is. Black quarterback, he can run. I know that.
So he's a runner. Let's just say he's a runner.
Yeah. B, it sounds like you got some thoughts on Wimsett. What do you got about
Hey,
him?
man.
Keep him in the pocket.
This is a running team. I mean, he's thrown 66 passes. He gets out of there, only been sacked once, so he's on the move. He only completes 51% of his passes. He's a runner. I got the game plan. Stop the run. And just like I mentioned, the three guys that from the defense, we have linebackers specifically designed to stop people like this. Because I went forward. These are the kind of quarterbacks, barring Ohio State, but the Georgias, they're going to have mobile, elusive quarterbacks that want to get out of the pocket and run and extend plays. So these are the type of linebackers you need. So this is the game, kind of a prototype game. We'll get to see, you know what I'm saying, how our linebackers do against this. But he wants to run. Everybody knows it. Make him win the game with his arm, and we'll have interception after interception. Like you said, Train, if all of our DBs play. So not worried. This should be another trouncing. We have a schedule that, like, I complain about, like, Alabama's schedule, you know what I'm saying, in years past. Like, the SEC being, you'd be like, oh, the SEC is so tough. It's like, yo, y'all play Clemson and Auburn maybe, and then it's like a cakewalk through it. That's how our schedule is set up. You know what I'm saying? To be in the playoffs and win a national championship. So
yeah,
I'm not worried about this dude.
So and you're saying this, they're pretty much a running team. That's not a great matchup to go versus us. It's like we're stout. You know, if you're gonna pop us, it's gonna be air raid all over the place. you know. So I'm not really worried about a team bullying us at all. If your game is you're coming in trying to bully us, good night. Yeah, that's not going to be the recipe for success versus Michigan.
He's the second leading rusher on the team.
Oh, the quarterback? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Behind they do. I mean, this African dude. I mean, I don't know who they play. I say African dude because I don't know how to pronounce this. Manangawi. He got 58 rushes for 357 yards. I mean, that's a dope clip. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think he got off versus Virginia Tech last week.
Okay,
really
yeah.
I think he had.
He might have some skill, but still, I'm not worried. They're running.
He had a couple bills versus Virginia Tech, but I just paid attention a little bit to that game last week because I knew we were playing them this week. But V Tech is trash. I can tell you that. I bet on them 1 week and they lost my. They were playing another average team, so
they don't got Michael Vick no more.
Rutgers averaged 210 rushing yards a game.
Oh, Rutgers too. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. That's I don't believe it. I'm not.
Their leading receiver has 5 catches for 99 yards in 3 games. I know he mad. Oh, as a receiver, just blocking every game. Oh, I know he pissed.
Yeah. So, but nonetheless, yeah, they're 3-0 at the end of the day. You know they're gonna be lit.
We should be lit too, man. Coach back.
Yeah, coach back. It's at the crib.
Come on now.
This should be easy money in the bank. What's the line on this game? Ken, you got the line over there?
24 points.
24.
I'd take that. Might be this week. I might need to take get my account right.
Yeah, 24 points.
Yeah, let me get that referral. All right, man. We're not gonna spend all day on Rutgers. At the end of the day, it's Rutgers. So we're not gonna overlook them, but we're not gonna give them all the time. Yeah, we're not gonna give them all the time either. But one thing I do want to talk about before we get to predictions and wrap up is, you know, obviously we're top 2 in the nation, according to both polls. And as long as I feel like as long as we don't lose or look very bad, we'll pretty much hold that spot till Georgia loses if they lose. So taking a look at the landscape, we always like to take a look around the country, see who potentially, if we handle our business, who we're gonna be looking at. So Texas, they popped Alabama. That people are talking about they look like the number 1 team, but after what Alabama just looked like. And Texas didn't just totally wash them. It was a pretty good game for most of the. Yeah, it was a good game. I get it. It was at Tuscaloosa, but I don't know. I feel like that win might, at the end of the season, may look a little overhyped from what it actually was at the time, or underhyped, I guess you should say. Maybe. Was that key?
Depending on how Alabama's finished.
Yeah, depending on how Alabama finishes. Georgia was down double digits to South Carolina at one point. We were talking about that. Pedestrian. Ohio State, they kill Western Kentucky. It feels like they're kind of maybe finding a little something there. I don't know. Notre Dame, they play this week. Ohio State, Notre Dame. That's going to tell us a lot. Give us some good feedback. Who am I missing? USC, they still sitting out there. Washington.
Florida State.
What Washington do?
Florida State look good.
Florida State.
Got trouble this last game, but you know what I'm saying?
Florida State looks sketchy at Boston College. They could have easily lost that. I don't know. I'm just giving the overall contenders. Washington looks like they might be. I know they play State and they reeling right now, but Penix, he got like 3 NFL receivers. They defense looks solid. I don't know, but that's just my take.
Top 10 right there, pretty much.
Who y'all got y'all eye on that really is like still Georgia B? What you looking at?
They breaking in a new quarterback, so they have weapons now. They did have a young man. He came back. Marcus Rosemary Jackson. He's a baller. Now he's a definitely a top NFL prospect. But guess what he got suspended for?
Reckless driving.
Reckless drive. So he was out the first game and speeding. But
Everybody.
hey, no NCAA investigation. But I digress. But
Hey, bro, my bad, bro. They even said it on the broadcast about it's been a lot of trouble in Georgia. People,
Brad,
a lot of it's like 16 people or some 24 people, coaches and players. Though.
Winning solves a lot.
I'm just my bad. I'm just saying. But you know, I mean, a good receiver, he has a lot of weapons, so that saves you know what I'm saying, a quarterback a lot when you don't have to do much. Stetson Bennett. Ohio State again breaking in a new quarterback. Iowa right now is top in the West.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, I'm just giving you. I'm looking forward to teams that we may have to face. I'm not really worried about any of those teams. USC scares me a whole lot. I forget the young man's name, but the quarterback, he the real deal. That's
Caleb,
the game that I was
Caleb
watching.
Williams,
yeah, Caleb Williams. Yep, that's the kid that I'm really keeping my eye on. I watched all 3 Michigan games, but I've also watched all 3 Colorado games. And hey, if they can make it,
no, they about to get. I think they about to get
by Oregon.
I think so.
I just like he says Brady time, so I can get on the bandwagon when the nigga say Brady time. But the only one that really poses a threat to me, dog, is Caleb Williams, yo. But every other team is breaking in a young quarterback. You know what I'm saying? So like that to me leaves the door open and gives us opportunity because the TCU kid that beat us last year, he was a what?
Yeah, he been
Junior,
around.
senior, yeah. He just had experience and knew the moment. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I'm not too worried. Nobody has just jumped out of the screen except for USC.
And their defense is TBD still.
Right.
So see on that.
Defense always trash.
Yeah, that always ends up costing them. They'll have a couple turnovers, and next thing you know, they in a shootout and lose. But
and that comes down to me. Can we just say, JJ, this is a shootout? Go win us the game. That's why I'm 50-50.
Yeah. I don't know if we want to shoot out with USC.
I don't know if we want to shoot out with nobody. We want to be comfortable and until the kid proves to me that JJ can go out and win the shootout.
Yeah. King, who you got your eye on?
Miami, because I'm down here. They 3-0. They look good. But I would say just Georgia. I mean, they had our number. They ain't been beat.
Spencer Rattler was lighting them up in the first half, but they shut that shit down late.
That's that experience and that wherewithal coming in late games. But that's that pedigree they got. But yeah, I mean, other than that, like Bowie said, that's a good point. Young quarterbacks, something that we could take advantage of. We have
all over the league.
Kind of an elder statesman quarterback. He's been there. He's been in our system. So, I mean, not too much worries me. I feel like we got a chance to beat anybody in the top 10 or whoever makes it. So,
I like Washington, man. I'm telling you, Washington, Penix he's like front runner for the Heisman right now. He's got, I think I heard something that said he's got 12 or 1,300 yards passing right now. It's 3 weeks into the season.
Like you said, that's that Pac-10. Who they playing?
Hey, Train, I'm a watch too, because to be honest, I didn't really watch. I was too busy laughing and clowning State fans. You know what I'm saying? So I really didn't watch. So I'm gonna keep my eye on him.
Yeah, I mean, he was great. He was great last year too. Like, you know, they always have a slip up too. So not to say they can't. They got legit 3 NFL receivers out there, and Penix is slinging it all over the field. Yeah,
that helps a whole lot.
Yeah, he did that to Sparty, but I mean the first couple weeks too, they lit up. I think Boise State, he threw for like 400 or 500 on them. Like that's what they're doing. So and their D, I didn't pay that much attention to their defense, but they shut Sparty down, which
right. Pac-10 isn't necessarily known for their defense, and shutting down Sparty doesn't seem like it'd be a dog.
But they seemed a little physical out there. I'm
a watch. I'm a watch.
Yeah. So
and not just laughing at MSU.
I'm curious to see when they meet up with USC. That's a game I'll watch.
Yeah.
Washington USC. Yeah,
definitely got to watch it.
That'd be a good one. Anyways, so let's get into it. What's up on these predictions from last week? I think I lost because y'all put me in a Y'all put me in a 4-point window. I have to basically predict the score perfectly.
I think I won. It was Train was 45-7, King was 38-3, and I was 42-0. So I don't know who won.
Oh, that's keen, then.
Come on now. I was just waiting. I was gonna say I was gonna do his spiel, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. So I came in second. So good. I ain't gotta pick. I
came in last again. I don't know. I need the rules. I need to know how this works because I really
38 points.
Margin of victory.
It don't matter.
So anyway, so the scores, what, King 2, me, I got 1. And it's only been 3 games, so I won't say the rest.
Dang, explain me out.
How much your winners? Nada. So you got the first one. You got the first pick then.
So you got predictions this week, B. We got Rutgers on the slate at home. King said it's a 24-point spread.
What did you say last year's score was? 52-17?
Yes, sir.
I'll give it to me. 52-17.
Well, that boy said we coming out all the way.
Coach is back. We at home.
The get right game.
Giving up 17? All right. On you, Train.
Oh man. All right. I'm gonna go with 38. I'll go with 38-10.
I'm gonna go 42-7.
All right, 42-7.
Gotta play these numbers.
There it is. So you got that written down, King, so nobody can try to switch it up. Hey, who knows? B might even get a victory this week. I hope he does.
Dang, don't put that who knows in there. We good. Hey.
Oh man. So before we wrap though, I do want to ask Keen Instagram. What we looking like on the gram?
At the Michigan Pancake Podcast, we live and direct. We're going live at halftime. We just had some complications this last game. But you know what I'm saying? Prayers up.
Catch us at half. If y'all online, catch us online at the half.
But yeah, at Michigan Pancake Podcast on Instagram, hit us up, let us know what's popping in the streets.
B, what's happening on X, formerly known as?
I love the X now. You can literally get degenerative on the X.
I gotta get on there. Damn.
It is wild. It was the Wild Wild West on the X, but we on the X, formerly known as Twitter, Michigan Man Cave Podcast. Come hit us up, man. Just post. I mean, don't post whatever. Let's keep it kind of PG, but post whatever. You know what I'm saying? But we'll have stats, info, all that stuff up there. Holla at your boy.
Oh, word.
That's it. Nothing good for the greater cause. We'll see y'all next week after we 4-0.
4-0, baby.
We'll catch y'all on the flip side.
Peace.